Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to the session on how to make a good proposal, organized by the ACM Student Chapter of University of Moratuwa. This session will help you all to get into one of the most competitive and prestigious global programs organized by Google. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our keynote speaker, Sumedhe Dissanayake, who is going to give you a brief understanding on how to ace a good GSoC proposal. He is currently working as a software engineer at WSO2 as well as he is a GSoC mentor. He is going to share his past experience with all of us. So, this will be a good opportunity for us to learn from the best. I welcome our speaker to start the session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Katurushana. Okay, I will share my screen. I hope you can see the screen. Okay, I will talk you about how what is Google Summer of Code and how to create a good proposal to submit to participate Google Summer of Code. So as I'm assuming there may be some students who are still have an idea about what is this program, but assuming to get to the all of the students to get knowledge, so I will start give an introduction about what is this program. So before that, I will introduce myself. I'm Sumedhe Dissanayake and currently working at WSO2, and I have mentoring at this collab for GSoC and Google coding programs from 2016, and I have completed the GSoC in 2018. Uh, okay, first of all, uh, what is GSoC? So as some of may know about this and some of may not heard about this. So this program, GSoC program, is conducted by Google. So the main intention of this program is to encourage the students uh, to contribute to the open source projects, open source softwares. So for that, what they are doing is there are a lot of open source organizations, and the organizations applies to this program with their projects, and then Google selects some of those organizations. Then what happens is the students can apply the proposals to those organizations, and the organization selects the proposals and they are getting selected for this program. So after that, with throughout the 4 months, students are contributing for that organization for a particular project. That's what is Google Summer of Code, and why we are doing that. I mean, what are the benefits? Why do we participate Google Summer of Code? So the main thing is that is a great learning experience. As think about that. While you are studying at the university, you are getting an opportunity to uh, participate, join a open source organization and contribute to one of their major project. So that is a great opportunity which you can get while you are studying at the university. So otherwise, uh, to contribute the project after the university, you need to go to company, and so that kind of that's the flow. No? I mean, uh, so you get an opportunity to before while you are studying at the university. So that's one thing. Another thing is GSoC is well recognized by Google, and they are the one who conducting this program. No? And not only that, and in other companies also, they are they have a good impression if someone has done a GSoC, someone have participated to GSoC. So when you are after the university, when you are applying to the companies, and if there's an entry mentioning that you have done Google Summer of Code for this organization in this year, so that entry would be a good impression at that time. So that's one other main thing we are getting from this program. The other thing is you are becoming a committer for FOSS software. FOSS means free and open source software. So I hope you have a general idea about that. So if I explain that, so open source software is the softwares which source code is available publicly, and anyone in the world can contribute to that. Anyone can see that code like that. So most of the open source softwares are contributed by the lot of collaborators. So that's how it works. And the other thing is you are getting a chance to work with awesome people. I mean, and not only some particular people in particular area. I mean, the open source project is the developers are located in all around the world. So there may be different people are in different countries, uh, different cultures. So you are getting a chance to communicate with those people and work with them. So that's another chance you are getting with this program. Another thing is you are getting a good reputation from this, and the one of the other good thing is you are getting tags from Google. So people are like to get t-shirts and stickers. Yeah, so those are given by Google after this program. And not only that, you are getting paid for this. So in this year, they are paying around $1,500. So that is around 3 lakhs in healthcare, I think, like that. So in previous years, it was around, in the last year, it is around 3,000, but somehow they have cut it to half. And however, now in this year, they are providing this much amount for the students who are successfully finished this program. Actually, that can be a considerable amount as considering as a student. You are getting this while you are studying. And so let's see how does this Google Summer of Code process. I mean, first, as I explained earlier, the open source projects are applied by the organizations, and then Google selects those organizations. And yeah, in the last year, it is around 198 organizations were there. And what happens next is students can submit their proposals to the organizations, and then organizations select the students based on their proposals. And then students are getting paired with a mentor of that organization. So after that, code begins, and that's how the process is roughly it's working. And here there are some misconceptions about GSoC like this. I mean, some of the students may think that I have not open source. I have not worked with an open source project before, and I have not worked with the open source organization like that. So, and I have not enough time to do this with my academic work, assignments, exams. So with that, I may not be able to manage this, and I'm not a good coder, and such things. I don't have a much GPA for that. So those are things are not considered here. I mean, uh, you don't need to have worked on an open source organization to participate this, because the this program is for the university students. So after university period, or after you are uh, not studying, when you are going to the industry, you can't do this. So every students have should they are not expecting to, the students should have worked on an open source organization before. So this is a chance for that. We don't expect that. So the time, when considering time, it's up to the student actually should manage. So most of the time that is not a big issue. While you are working the academics, you can do this. So that is not a big problem. It depends on if you have an exams or something like that in the middle of that period. That should be considered only that case. So even that, it is possible. Uh, and the other thing is, you don't need to be a good expert coder for that. So this is not just to work, not just to work for an organization. This is to get an experience also. You learn things while doing uh, while working for that organization. So but you should have some knowledge about how to about some programming language, and how to do some the coding knowledge should be there, but you don't need to be an expert around that. And as I said, there's GPA is not considered at all here, and that's obviously not a waste of time. You will get an idea about that. And then what do you need to know? So what do you need to know is, you should have a you should have you should know some programming language. So as this is a coding competition, coding program, no? So uh, any program language you like, you should be able to work with that, and you should have some knowledge about how to program. And you should be able to use version controlling systems and tools like GitHub. I think you have some idea about what is GitHub is. GitHub is the place which uh, the source codes are hosted, and almost all the open source organizations hosted their codes in GitHub, and anyone in the world can see the codes and contribute that. So that using that knowledge, it should be there. That is not a big thing, and you can just play with that, and you can understand how they are working. This version controlling system, Git, how to use Git. Yeah, those are not big things when you are practicing it. And uh, to use how to build tools, and the main thing is how to communicate. You should be able to communicate, because uh, the people who are the contributors of that organization, they may come in different countries. So you should be able to communicate well with them. That's another thing. And most importantly, you should have a good attitude and good commitment. That's a major thing which which you should have. And the thing is, don't be late to submit your proposal, and try to submit it as soon as possible. And not just to submit the proposal, you can interact with, you can communicate with the organization even before that. So that's a good thing. And what you can do is, you can go through the past years organizations and the projects, and check what are the projects they have done, what are the organizations are available, and other information about that. And you can find then you have to find a project which is suitable for you. As I said earlier, maybe you have you know about Python programming but not C++. So in that case, you can find the project related to Python program. So like that, uh, there are various projects, various organizations, and so sure you will be able to find suitable projects for you. So that should be done earlier, and then you can find you can go to their Git organization and Git repositories. You can find the source code, and you can find other information about that project. You can even read the whole code about the project which you have selected. So you can do them before that, and in the GitHub, in that repository, when you go to the repository, you will find, I think you know what are the issues. There's a tab called issues. In there, the current issues are submitted, mentioned here in the issues tab. So what you can do is if you can fix that issue, that's a good thing when you are applying for that organization, because fixing an existing issue, the issues are not big things. So there may be little issues which you can easily fix. So even a small issue, if you can fix that, that's a big thing, because which means you are familiar with that project, you are confident about that. So try to go through each issues, and if you can find anything you can fix, do it. And then you can get more information about going through their mail threads and mail groups. There are all the organizations have a main chat channel. Uh, it is dependent on the platform is dependent on that organization. You will be able to find that also in their organization page. Okay, so and do research means you can all of the resources are there. You can get more understanding about the organization and the project well. So I will show how to browse this archive to GSoC. You can go to this link and visit. And when you go to this page, you will see that it is mentioned about the past years programs, and when you go inside that program, you will see that the organization which was selected for that year. So you can see that the familiar organizations are also the Arduino blend. So uh, most of the organization which are familiar, and uh, which means you can directly contribute to those projects. For example, this here is Debian and Eclipse. You can create something and you can do coding a part of that system, which means think about if you uh, implement some feature for Debian operating system. So that is used by most of the people around the world. So that's a big thing. The code you have written is used by most of the people. So that's a uh, good chance which you can show your skills also. So you can browse these organizations, and when you go inside that organization, you will find the projects which have completed in that year, and the project description. And when you go inside the description, you can get more information, get the code. Sometimes you may be able to give those proposals also. So you can get familiar with, go through the organizations and the project and get an idea about how the projects were done earlier, and how the things are going. And you can go to the mailing list and their chat channel, chat platform from these links. Yeah, okay, I think you have an idea about how you can browse the archive to get an idea about the organizations and the projects. And next, the thing is, you need to be special among others. This is for example, if you select a project of an organization, there may be multiple students who are willing to apply to that. So in that case, you should be special among the others. So for that, what you have to do is you can help others, and if someone is uh, get some problem, and if you know what's the solution for that, you can just uh, help them with that chat. Most of the organizations have separate chats for each project. So you can talk anything uh, about that project in that chat. So if someone getting a question and someone asking a question, if you know the answer, you can say it. So like that, there are various ways you can help others. When you are going to chat channel like that, you can introduce yourself. Who are you, and where are you from? You are what are the projects you are interested in, and the things you can that's how you can introduce yourself to the others. And keep it mind that be polite every time. And the other thing is you can do before that is you can fork the project in the GitHub. You can get a copy of the project and fix if there's any bug or something, and or you can implement a feature in there. And if you do a thing like that, you can then you can send a PR to that project. So if it get accepted, that's a big thing. So these are the things you can do to be a special among the others. And this is a main thing, one of the main thing in this process, that is the communication. So the organization doesn't know about who you are. So the main thing they get an idea about you is the main thing is one of the main thing is the communication. So in the chats or mails, uh, uh, you should keep remember these things. You don't need, one thing is you should not use caps to emphasize things, and don't use sir or madam. So those are things not used in open source environments. So every developer, even the organization admin, you can just say by his name. You can say just, hey, hi Bob, hi Alice, or anything like that. So you don't need to use sir or madam things just to respect. You should respect others, but not from these words like that. You can just say name. And other thing is you need to be polite, as I said earlier. And when you're asking questions, try to find the solution by yourself. without asking every little problem in the chat. And don't use SMS languages, that short terms and the things. And obviously you should communicate in English, as there are a lot of people which is coming from different countries and different languages, and you should not put personal messages in the uh, main chats, and try to be quick, responsive, and don't use these tags like important, urgent. Those tags you should not be used in there. And don't use HTML emails that is contains these styles, colors, and uh, don't use them. And just you can type plain text. You can get an idea about checking the others' mails in the mail thread. So how to write mails and those kind of stuff. So don't post ads. That's a big thing. If you can get banned, or even banned if you post the advertisement in there. That is not the advertisement platform. That's not a normal chat. It is dedicated for that project or the things with related to that organization. So don't do that also. Don't hijack threads. And when you are writing emails, try to clean and clear way. You don't need to explain is like a lot of paragraphs. Just say what you're asking and the things clearly. And when you are talking, try to check mail archives first. So if you have a problem when you are asking, the same problem can maybe have answered earlier. So you don't need to ask it again and again in there, as you can find that solution easily by searching the mail archive. So follow those things and keep in mind, this is one of the main things you need to keep in mind. And the timeline for this year is as explained here. So the organization's application is opened in January, and currently in the last week it is announced, they announced the accepted organizations. So now then the next thing is coming, the students have to submit their proposals. So after that the accepted students are getting announced by the organization, and then the community bonding period starts. That's the beginning of the GSoC, your task, and then you can do the coding, the main thing. And after that, in the 31st August, the successful projects are announced. So that's how the timeline is planned. So as you can see, try to take an action as soon as possible. Yeah, currently the organizations are announced, and yeah, now is the time to write your proposal. So what you can do is the first go through the organizations as I showed earlier, uh, and you can select projects. In each organization, you can browse their projects and get an idea about that. Then after selecting a project which is suitable for you, you can start writing the proposal. You can write multiple proposals also for multiple projects. So you can start doing that. And how to write a good proposal. So this is the main thing which you need to do in this whole period, because this is like the ticket for to attend this program. So if I explain briefly about the main elements of the proposal, And keep in mind that the proposal structure is depends on the organization. So when you are selecting a project in an organization, you can get the sample proposal or sample template about how to apply, because there are a lot of proposals are coming to the organization. So they are, most of the organization have their own uh, format for to submit this proposal. So check that first. And these are the main things. Generally, the covers the proposals. The title, which means the it should contain the title, which says what are you going to do in that project, and the name and contact information. Those are the basic things. You should put your email address, contact numbers, and the information which they can reach you, and the introduction about the project, and deliverables means in after uh, after the GSoC time period, what are the things you are deliver, what are the components you are going to build. So those should be mentioned. And project goals, which means the whole task, the whole project you can, the whole project you are going to do, you can split into small tasks and assign the deadlines for each of them. So uh, this is one of the major things should be in your proposal. It should explain which at what time you can finish this task, like that. So it should be explained that level, and I will show you. I will explain more about that in next slides. And if there are any related works related to the project what you are going to do, you can mention them also. And there may be some tasks which is provided by the organization. For, as I told earlier, there may be multiple students participating for that organization and for that project. So sometimes the organization provides you some tasks to complete to select to that project. So that simple task may cover the basic things you should know about that project, or to do that task. So if they are providing to do such tasks, you can include them also in the proposal. And when writing proposal, try to clear your approach, and it should contain how you are going to solve that issue, or how you are going to implement that feature. So it should clearly explain. And you can include flow charts, diagrams, there may be mock-ups, or anything you can explain what you are going to do clearly. And you have to write proper timeline. As I explained earlier, the scoped with the milestones, and you can include as I explained earlier, you can split the whole project to tasks, and include the deadlines also for each of them, and you can explain how you are going to implement the whole project in that time period clearly. And if you have done anything before starting project, you may have fixed something, or you may have tried some POCs or something like that. If there's an code chance, you can include them also. And before submitting the final proposal, you can submit a draft proposal. So when you submit a draft proposal, the mentors can check that and give feedbacks. before submitting the final one. So that's another chance you are getting, that you can create a good proposal before submitting that with the help of the mentors. And the other thing is, you should mention about your availability. So if there's any exams or assignments or something like that which needed some time within that time period, in the time period you are coding, and you should mention them. So organizations they are flexible. If you have some if you have any things like that, they can consider about that also. If they are okay with that, however, you should mention about them. And the other thing is, you need to follow the rules which is provided by the organization you are going to uh, submit. And they may that the rules contains that application format. So some of the organizations request the plain text proposals. So some are okay with PDFs. So and there may be limits of the length of that proposal. So you need to check them before creating the proposal. And you can include your personal experience and skills related to the task you are going to do also in the proposal. So if you have any skills, or if you have done past projects which is aligned with the project, you can mention them also. So what you have to do is, uh, you should convince your organization that you are capable of doing that project, that task. So this should be this should be contained in your proposal. And keep in mind, if I show you some of the proposals I went through, and here some of the projects I selected to show you. This is proposal submitted for Blender, and you can see that it is started with an description and the benefits. That person has explained the deliverables and the project details and the optimization plans. And there is no strict rule uh, about the proposal. And what you have to do is, you have to follow the organization guideline. So uh, the major things I explained, it is here, as the project schedule is split into each of the chunks, and yeah, like that. And this is one of the projects we have mentored in last year. And you can see that he has mentioned about the tasks and his past contributions and each milestones. So you can browse all the past proposals from the Google Summer of Code archive page. And for now, I will show you these things, this project introduction. So these are the main things the project should contain. And if you can explain the things you are going to do uh, in a descriptive way, and if you have a proper timeline for that, that's enough. And that convinces the organization that you are capable of doing that task, and you have a good plan for that. That is enough to select for that. And next, remember that the organization is the one who select you for this program and decide whether you are passed or not. So uh, keep in mind that you should have a good keep a good communication with the organization and mentors, and do your task there. So that's the thing you have to remember. And when you are when you are got accepted for this, what do you have to do? uh, so the main thing is you need to bond with your mentors. So they are friendly and you can talk with anything. You can ask questions and get feedback for any issues. If you when you are setting up the project or when you are planning things, you can talk with them anything. So and don't miss the meetings, and you can clearly tell that if you can't attend to that meeting, you can tell it earlier. So uh, the organization, they are flexible and you can talk with them, and if there's a meeting, if you can participate, you can get changed that time. So that's easy, and no need to miss them. And you should finish your work by the time and try to do that. And you need to deliver the things you have promised to do, and keep you need to do these things. And the evaluation, this consists of three major parts of the whole process, and there are two evaluations within the time period. So as I explained, that they are paying for that, so the payment is not we can't get it advance, and they are providing it in each evaluation time. So that's also a good thing. And after finishing all of your works, you have to uh, that code or the things you have created, those are publishing publicly, so anyone can in the world can access what you have done in that time period. So that's how the evaluation is doing. So what do you do after GSoC is over? So keep in mind that don't stop contributing. So when you are successfully completing a GSoC project, which means you have the you are capable of doing a task, and you have the confidence of contributing to open source project. So you can uh, keep contact with them, and you can keep contributing, and you can try out other organizations also if you can. uh, so uh, so keep in mind to continue those things. Uh, and the thing is, in next year you will be able to be a mentor also. So that is also another experience you can get. And uh, yeah, the things. And the other thing is, some of the organization, they have yearly summits, so in some countries. So if you uh, if you do GSoC in those organizations, you will get a chance to participate that summits also with free of charge, even the ticket. So that is also a great opportunity you can get while you are studying at the university. And I have mentioned about some links, useful links you can refer. The Google Summer of Code discuss, student guide, and GSoC archive. So you can refer these things. And here's a video which is created by Google about the Summer of Code. I will play this now. There may be a little delay as this is playing in Zoom. Okay,
you really know about open source projects?
Have you ever wondered what it's like to work on a project with an organization like Apache, GNOME, KDE,
Eclipse,
or hundreds more?
Google Summer of Code is a mentorship program
That brings programmers like you
together with great mentors and awesome open source projects.
You'll spend your summer coding on a real-world project,
potentially used by millions of people all over the world.
Mentors like us will introduce you to our diverse global community, providing a one-of-a-kind experience and help you succeed. As a successful participant in Google Summer of Code, you'll receive a stipend
so you can focus on your coding project.
You'll meet new people,
Develop new skills and have a lot of fun.
I'm Matthew Welts.
My name is Aaron.
My name is Candela.
My name is Robert.
My name is 𝒟𝓃𝓉.
My name is 𝓂𝓶𝓃𝓉.
I'm 𝓂𝓂𝓃𝓉. My name is 𝓉𝒶𝓀𝓒.
My name is Avik Basu.
My name is Lia.
my name is William Coldwell.
We are Google Summer of Code mentors. Go to g.co/gsoc to learn more.
Okay, in the end, what I have to say is, don't miss this opportunity, and you are getting this only in your study. So this is a huge chance which you can show your skills to the world, and you will get more opportunities with contributing the resource organization, and you will get known with various people in various countries. So keep in mind and don't miss that opportunity, and you can get selected. Even you are not getting selected, even you apply that experience is also a great thing. So keep in mind, and I am saying that all of the students here should apply that. So, that experience cannot be taken from other places. Yeah, so I wish you a good luck, and if you have any question, start.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah. Like, what would you recommend, like, when we are selecting a project, like, on what basis should we select that? Like, for example, like, if some popular organization is in the archive list, so like, there would be many people applying to that project. So like on that basis, how should we select a project? Yeah, that's my question.
Okay, that's a good question. The thing is, that is depend on your skills, and you can check on the past projects also. I mean, for example, if you think about some of the projects, those are huge, no? So so those companies may have a lot of students who are getting applied to that organization. So in that case, I think it's I can't tell it directly this can be possible or not. The reason is some of you may have capable of do something in that organization also. So what you can do is you can go through the projects, and as everything is you can find it from the archive, no? So for example, if you can go to the Ubuntu organization, and you can find what are the projects they have done in past years. So most of the time in that level, they are expecting this year also. So from that, and you can the implementation of that project also, you can get all the information. So if you are while after you are checking all of those things, if you have an idea about, yes, I can do these kind of stuff, and if you have that confidence, you can apply. That's fine. It's up to you. I mean, I'm not saying this is good or bad, and that is subjective. Um, yeah, and the thing, you can main thing is you need to find a project which which suited what you know already know. I mean, if you are good at programming, as I explained earlier, if you are good at Python, most of the time the projects related to Python language you have to select, not the organization. So that's how I think it's the better way to select a project. The thing is, for example, if the Apache and Debian or some those are big open source project, no? So contributing to that kind of projects might be hard, but that's a great opportunity also. So it's up to you, and you can analyze, and based on your capability and your skills, you can select a project. So I think I hope I answered right. Yes, it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
And like, is it possible to do the project while we are learning like that field? Like,
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that is not just to work; it's to learn also. So while learning and while researching, you can do that project, but you should have a basic understanding about some language or something. You should uh, not knowing all the things about the whole project, but you should have the capability of coding, building the things, and those kind of stuff. The basic things you should know. Other stuff you can learn and create. So yeah, that's okay.
so like, wouldn't that affect like when we are making the proposal, like we have to make the milestone plan, and if we are like learning and doing the project, like how will we know like uh, some things that we have to do in the future while learning?
Yeah, yeah. That's why there is a time period before that. So you have enough time to research those things, no?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Not to code, not the implementation things, and those things you might not be able to cover in that period, but you can create a proper timeline for that and plan the project. So for that thing, there are enough time before that. So take that time and research and create the proposal. Uh, and by intuition, you have get an idea. You should have an idea about that whether I can finish this or not. So based on that, you can create the project. So you don't need to get you don't need to know all the things about the all the tasks, but you should have some much knowledge, basic things, which should enough to continue that. Yeah. Other questions? Uh, Anyone who has participated past years or applied, even applied? All of you are new to this. Yeah, seems there are no other questions, no? So I hope you all will apply to GSoC this year. Okay, since no one has any questions, should we wind up?
Thank you so much for schedule your valuable time to spend with us today to give the guidelines clearly. It was really useful for us. Thank you.
Pleasure to work with you also.
And I thank all the participants who have participated today's session and help us to complete the session successfully. Finally, I thank our ACM student chapter all committee members to conduct this event in an efficient way. Thank you so much for joining and have a nice day.